YouTube family, welcome back to my channel. Welcome to another banging video, and today we're going to be doing some Frenchies with some glitters at the tip. So first I'm going in and I'm pushing my client's cuticles back, that way I expose all my new growth. Then I'm going to come in with my cuticle bit. I'm gonna put my drill maybe at around 14 to 16,000 RPMs, and then I'm just going to use this bit to clean up my cuticle area and my side walls. If you're struggling with getting close to your cuticle with a sanding band, you should definitely invest in getting a cuticle bit. This bit is very gentle, it will not cut your client, and this is going to give you the perfect chance to get up close to the cuticle and remove all that excess growth. That way we can have long lasting nails. Now I'm going to come in with my fine sanding band, and I'm going to turn my drill to 4,000 to 5,000 RPMs. You never want to go over 6,000 RPMs because the drill is going to be going too fast. This is too aggressive for the client's natural nails, so I'll suggest staying between 4,000 to 6,000. That's usually a good range. Whenever you're prepping the client's natural nail, you don't want to apply too much pressure because you can burn your client and you can damage your client's nail. So whenever you're prepping, you want to focus on around your cuticle area and your side walls, because that's where most of the lifting starts. Whenever I am prepping, my prep usually takes me anywhere between 5 and 8 minutes. That's usually my prep time, so don't overthink your prep work. So now I'm just gonna come in with my nipper and I'm going to nip any excess cuticles that's hanging. Usually I do this because it helps with my results and my cuticle bead application. Sometimes we have all these excess, you saw all that excess cuticle I'm taking off. Sometimes when I'm placing my cuticle bead, if that's hanging, it's in the way, so the bead is not as flush as it really should have been. And also if you're going to be doing any kind of polish work, this can also be in the way. So now that I'm finished prepping and dusting my nails off, I'm just going to come in with these square tips. These square tips are available on my website. I'm going to measure my tips, making sure they fit from side wall to side wall. You never want to use a tip that's too small. If you have a tip that's too small and one that's too big, always go for the bigger tip, because you can always come in with your scissors or your hand file and take all the excess off. But you definitely need a tip that fits from side to side, because this is going to give the nail all the strength that it's going to need to last long and to prevent the nail from breaking easily as well. Also, whenever you're gluing your tips, do not glue your tips halfway through the nail. You want to leave as much nail bed to work on. You don't want to have the tip halfway through the nail, because this is going to take up all the surface that you really need to be applying the acrylic on. So whenever you're applying, you really need to apply your nail tip exactly at the free edge of your client's natural nail. And like I said before, this is going to allow you to have all the room to apply your acrylic, and your nail will definitely last longer like that. Now I'm going to use my KDS glue, and I'm going to apply this glue exactly at the free edge of my client's natural nail, and then I'm going to apply my tips, give it a firm press and release it. With these tips, they stick very fast, so you do not have to worry about that. Also, some clients, they have very crooked nails, so you have to always make sure that their hand is completely relaxed, and follow your client's knuckles. That way you're going to be lined up. But like I said before, you always want to make sure that you have the tips on straight, because if you do not, then you're going to have problem in the end trying to get your shape back. So even if you're in doubt what you can do, you can also turn, each time you place the tip on, you can turn your client's hand around, look at it from the client's view, and make sure that your tip is on straight, because this is going to save you so much time. Because on many occasions before, I'm like, I'm feeling lazy, I'll just get the shape back in the end, when I couldn't get the shape back. So now I just make sure the tips, they're on straight, because this is going to save you all the time trying to save the shape in the end. Now I'm just going to come in with my scissors and I'm going to cut the nail to the client's desired length. What I usually do first, I cut, let the client look, see what if they want me to go any shorter, then I'll just proceed and go shorter. Then I will cut the rest of the nail based on the first length that I cut. You always want to make sure that when you measure your nail, you measure it from cuticle to cuticle. That way you're going to be able to see the length of all the nail and making sure they're even. So whenever you put the nails together, make sure the cuticles are aligned. We are doing square shapes. I do not have a lot of work to do, so I'm just going to come in very fast with my 100 grit hand file, and I'm just going to go over the shape of the nail, making sure that I'm holding my hand file completely straight and making sure that I am paying attention to the direction that the client's natural nail is going and the actual direction that the tip should be going. So whenever I am shaping, I am paying close attention and I'm making sure that I am not tilting my hand file too much in, because then you'll take the square look away from the shape. So make sure you're holding your hand file completely straight at all times and paying attention to the shape of your nail. Keep alternating from side to side, that way you don't make one side crooked. So you definitely need to keep switching sides. Sometimes I do turn my client's hand around, especially if they have very crooked fingers. I do turn it around just to make sure the shape is looking good before I proceed, and I just want to make sure that I am on the right track. So if you're in any doubt, what you can do, you can turn your client's hand around very fast just to give your shape a quick check. Now I'm going to come in and I'm going to blend the tip to the client's natural nail. That way I have a smooth application. As you know, we will be working on a very clean nail bed, so you have to dust all the dust off your client's nail and before you put any type of prep or dehydrator on. So I'm going to be using my Young Nail dehydrator today with some lint-free wipes, and I'm just going to go over my client's natural nail. You do not have to put the dehydrator over the tip, because the purpose of the dehydrator is for the acrylic to bond to the natural nail. Now I'm going to come in with my protein bond from Young Nails one more time, and I'm going to go over the client's natural nail and I'm going to do 2 applications. Whenever you're applying your protein bond or your primer, you do not want to flood the cuticle, because this can also cause lifting. Basically, the primer is going to act as a barrier between the nail bed and the acrylic if it's flooding. So the acrylic didn't get a chance to bond properly because there's too much primer basically flooding the cuticle. So you want to make sure that you're not flooding your cuticles with primer, because this can cause the acrylic to not adhere and snug tight enough to your client's natural nail. As you guys can see, I already have my Viva paper towel out. You always want to make sure you're working with a very good paper towel that's going to get the acrylic out your brush. Now I'm going to come in with Bubble Pink. We're currently having a sale on the website, so it's a steal, y'all. So make sure whenever you're done watching this video, you head over to my website and check out this Bubble Pink. And of course, we're using our EMA monomer. That's also available on the website as well. And this brush is a number 12 Kolinsky brush. So for this application, I'm going to be shooting for a one ball method. So the first bead, I'm going to place that just above the cuticle, tuck, tuck, tuck. And whenever I'm working, I'm giving the acrylic very light strokes, very gentle feathering motion. You do not want to overwork your acrylic because sometimes you're only creating a mess. So let the acrylic self-level and do the work for you. Don't overwork your acrylic. Whenever you're applying your acrylic, you really want to make sure that your client's nail is facing downwards. That way the acrylic is going to naturally flow to the tip of the nail. Whenever you're doing one ball method, you really want to make sure that you practice your liquid to powder ratio, because this is going to help you pick up a perfect bead, and the bead is not going to be too runny or too dry. And one thing with one ball method, you have to be able to control your bead. So that's one thing I'll say. Once you have the perfect bead and you have control, it's going to be fine. You can always go for it. So like I said, also whenever I'm doing a one ball method, what I do is, the bigger the bead, the more monomer you need to have in your brush. And also it depends on the length of the nails as well, because if the nail is short and it's a one ball method, you still don't need a large bead for that. You might need a medium sized bead, so you might need to drain your brush halfway through. And if you want to watch my liquid to powder ratio video, it's in my videos below, so you can always go ahead and watch that. But like I said, with one ball method or with any method, it always depending on the length of the nail. If you have a short nail, you're going to need less acrylic to complete a one ball method. You always want to make sure you're cleaning up your side walls with the tip of your brush. That way you keep the acrylic off your client's skin. You do not want to keep the acrylic on your client's skin, because when it's time to drill, it's going to be very difficult. And if you didn't seal the nail properly, you're going to have lifting. So look at how when I place my acrylic, I kind of introduce the acrylic or encourage the acrylic to flow to the tip of the nail by stretching the powder. And then what I do is I tuck my acrylic back in the cuticle area, light tapping motion, holding my client's nail downwards. That way the acrylic doesn't flow back in the cuticles. Now we're done with our acrylic application. The next step is to shape. So coming in one more time with my 100 grit hand file, I'm going to come in from side to side, keep alternating, making sure I hold my hand file completely straight and getting the free edge and underneath the nails. You always want to make sure you get underneath the nails, because if you have hang nails or acrylic under, it's going to reflect on top. So making sure you're cleaning, make sure you're cleaning the underneath of the nail as well. Whenever I am shaping, I make sure that my hand file is not dull, because when the hand file is new, your shaping is going to be so much faster and it's going to be more precise. So make sure you're not using a dull hand file. And also one more thing, whenever you're using a brand new hand file, you want to always make sure that you score your hand file. So use an old file to go over the edge of the new file. That way you take all that rough grains off of it. That way you don't slice your client easily. Whenever I am shaping, whenever I place my hand file up against the nail, I already see the shape that I'm going for. So don't just like blindly file. Whenever you place your file up against the nail, you should already see like, okay, this is the shape that I'm going for. So you have to just keep looking at the nail, making sure you're not tilting your hand file too much, because then you're going to take the tip in, and then making sure, you just have to pay attention. And whenever you place the file on the nail, like I said before, you should see the shape already form out before you go in for that stroke. And you guys already know the drill. I'm going to turn my client's hand, looking at it from the client's view, making sure everything is nice and straight. This is my opportunity to fix anything that I might have missed. So turning your client's hand from the opposite side is very, very important. This is the view. This is what they can see, and this is what they'll be looking at for the next 3-4 weeks, 5 weeks. This is what they will be seeing. So just turn your client's hand around, making sure all the nails are on the same length and making sure everything is nice and straight. Now I'm going to be drilling one more time. So I'm going to be at 21 or 20,000 RPMs using my pana drill bit. This is my medium pana bit. I'm going to leave the link in the description for this bit as well. I got this bit from Amazon. I've been using pana bit for quite a while. They work pretty nice, so I'm going to definitely leave the link for you guys so you can go and try them out. They also have safety bits as well if you're uncomfortable getting close to the cuticles, because you definitely want to get close to your cuticles, because this is how you're going to be able to seal your nails. So if you have a safety bit and you're not comfortable, the safety bit is perfect for you, because that way you're more comfortable getting close to the client's cuticles. And also, if you do not have a safety bit and you want to get close to the cuticles, what you can do is get as close as you can, and then you come in with your cuticle bit, which is the bit that I use to prep, and you can go around the cuticle and seal the nail. And you know, the cuticle bit is not aggressive, or it will not cut the client easy at all. So that's also another thing that you can do. Come over with your drill bit, go as close as you can, whatever you're not comfortable with, which should be like extremely close. That part you could use your cuticle bit and seal. Whenever I am drilling, I always use my pinky finger to keep the drill stable. So definitely practice using your pinky finger, because this is the only way you're going to be able to have control over the drill. Going from the left to the right and making sure my cuticles are always sealed, because if your cuticles are not sealed, you're going to have lifting. Lifting is the last problem you want to struggle with, because sometimes we do the nails good, we're charging, but the nails are not lasting. And if you're paying money for something, you at least want to wear them for 3 weeks. So one thing, lifting, sealing the cuticle, very important. So with lifting, it comes with prep, cuticle sealing, also cuticle bead application, making sure whenever you apply your acrylic, it doesn't overflow in the cuticle area. And whenever you're drilling, you're making sure you're sealing the nail. So that's 3 things right there: prep, your cuticle bead application, and when you're drilling, you're making sure that you're sealing the nail. And this is going to help you with your lifting. So for this design, what I'm going to do first, I already think about my approach. So my first step is doing my Frenchies, and like you guys know, whenever I do Frenchies, I go for 1 shot, coming from the side, meeting in the middle. And this is how I practice my French, and this is how I was able to perfect my French like very fast. So I just start from the corner, swoop it in the middle like you're doing a comma, and then I just fill the sides in. But I perfect my French first, and then I shade the rest of it in. And then my next step, I do have some glitters that I got from Mia's Secret. I believe I got those glitters off Amazon. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to leave my polish, my white polish, I'm gonna leave that wet. Then I'm going to pour my glitter all over the white. Then I'm going to let her cure. Then I'm going to apply the top coat, and then that's going to be the finished look. Make sure you guys like this video. Make sure you are subscribed to the channel, guys. I'm almost at 1,000 subscribers. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. I worked so hard for this. Even though I did slack up on videos for like, what? I haven't uploaded a video maybe 8 days now, 9 days, and I did say I was gonna do 2 videos a week. So guess what, I am back at it again. I am back, and definitely 2 videos a week I'm back at, or 1 video for the week. But I'm not supposed to be going 8 days, not 8 days, 8-9 days without uploading. No ma'am, not about to do that. So I'm gonna be done with these Frenchies, then I'll be right back in the end to see the final results. So make sure you guys like this video, give me a thumbs up, and subscribe to the channel. Y'all, this is the final result. So of course, whenever you apply your top coat, you do not cover the glitter with it because that's going to let the glitter look flat and boring. You don't want to have that effect. So do not put the glitter over the top coat when you do a glitter throw design like this. So this is the final look, y'all. This was super cute. This was her birthday nail, and she did do matching toes. That's posted on my Instagram. So the toes were really banging. So you know, we do matching sets and everything came out super cute. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please subscribe and make sure you hit that like button. Bye until next time. Take care, y'all.